Hi, okay. Got some requests recently to make a video on how to build out a responsive drop-down navigation. So I already have a video out on how to build a drop-down navigation just using pure CSS, but how do we make it responsive? I hopefully am going to make this incredibly easy for you. As always, I have my coffee, and let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and go here. This is going to be, I already kind of have some templates set up. So I'll give an explanation of what all this stuff is here in a minute. And let's see. Let's just call this responsive drop-down tutorial. Okay, so I'm just going to do the old index. Then I'm going to do style.css, and then this is going to be right here. Let's go back here. This isn't going to be in a folder, so it's just going to be style. Okay, sweet. All right, so let's go ahead and open a browser window, and we're going to hit Control-O, Command-O, and then we're going to go to we're going to navigate to that folder, then we're going to hit open on the index. So there's nothing here, but that's going to change, okay? So what I like to do is what's called mobile first, meaning that we address the mobile portion of the style first, and then we subsequently go up to tablet, then we go up to desktop and above. So these are called media queries, and we're going to get into that in a minute, but right now, let's go ahead and put some HTML in. Let's go ahead and start writing up things. So we're gonna have a header. So this is HTML5. Header is an HTML5 tag. Then we're gonna have nav, which is also an HTML5 tag. Then we're gonna have an unordered list. Then we're gonna do list items. Okay, and then inside these list items, we're going to do anchor tags. So these are the links. I'm just going to copy and repeat this, I don't know, 6 times. Okay, so let's go back. Let's hit refresh. So we see this. These are just simple things. This doesn't really have to do with responsive. I'll just show you how to do this, but we want to get rid of these buttons. I'm sorry, these bullets real quick. So this isn't really what the tutorial is about, but we'll get into this nonetheless. So we're going to do list style none. Bam, goes away. Okay, next thing we got to do is on the anchor tags, I want to get rid of those underlines. We're going to do text decoration none. Bam, gets rid of that. Okay, now color, let's we'll get in that in a minute. Okay, so let's go ahead and style the header. We want that header to look nice and look like a normal header. So we're just gonna kind of play around with this real quick. So we're gonna say float left. We're going to say float left. We're going to say width 100%, height 140 pixels, background, we're going to say gray, so 666. Bam. All right, so I don't like that padding. We'll just come in here real quick. This is called the wildcard selector. If you've seen my other videos, this means everything. That wildcard, that asterisk, means that this applies to everything. So we'll just say padding 0px. Okay. Margin 0px. There we go. Okay, so that was margin adding that. All right, so these are stacked on top of each other. We don't want that. We want them to be laid out nicely. So by virtue of a list item, it naturally is what's called block. It stacks on top of each other. So we actually want this to display inline. And then see, so when we say display inline on that list item, it's going to go side by side. So let's go ahead and we'll say float left, and then we're going, the reason we're saying float left is so that it'll take the height that I'm about to give it. So we'll say width, auto, then we'll say height, 140 pixels, then we'll say background, a lighter gray. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay. So what we want to do here is give some spacing. We kind of want to see what's going on there. Let's see, margin, we'll say 0. We'll just say margin right 20 pixels. There we go, okay. And I don't like that with auto, but we'll do something about that here in a minute. So I'm just trying to get this to resemble navigation before we can kind of get into the responsive stuff. So we'll do, let's go ahead and target the links. So we'll do list item anchor tag. And then we're going to say, let's go ahead and make it line up in the middle. We'll say line. So we do that with the line height. And I'm just going to make this up 60, so it's way up. So it's about a line height of 140. Okay, so it's not that big of a deal. And then we want to give some spacing on the sides. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Do you notice right here when I hover over this, it's only giving me the pointer, the pointing cursor as I hover over the text. We can change that. You see how this whole area should be clickable, but it's not. Let's go ahead and change that. And the way we're going to do that is by giving this anchor tag a height of 140 pixels as well. So, see, it's not doing that right now. It's not letting me. The reason is by default, anchor tags are actually displayed inline, and you can't just give it a height like that. You have to tell it to display block. Then you have to say float left, and then it's going to, should give you, unless I'm doing something wrong. Let's go ahead and red solid 1px. Okay. That's really weird that it's not taking that. That's really bizarre. Oh, okay. I didn't close this tag right here. Okay, so I didn't close that tag. That's fine. Sometimes if I don't know what's going on, I'll put an outline on something just to kind of see what's up. So anyway, now you can see this whole area is clickable, which makes things a lot better. Issue is it needs to go out further. So what we're going to do is we'll add some padding to the left and right. So the way padding or margin or any kind of value works, that could take 4 pairs, top, right, bottom, left. It's top, right, bottom, left. So that's how it works. It's clockwise. So, but you can shorten it into pairs. So you could do top, bottom, right, left by just doing 2 values, just like that. So right now we don't want anything on top or bottom, but we do want something on right and left. So, and that's the same as doing this, 0px, 20px. So you could see the benefit of just doing shorthand pairs. Kind of simplifies things. So okay, so we're getting there. Let's go ahead and we'll say let's style this text real quick. We'll say color, white, font family, sans serif. Okay, there we go. All right, so we want this to stick out a little bit more. So what we're gonna do is I don't know why it's not taking. It's doing some weird stuff with me right now. For whatever reason, it's not giving me the hinting it normally does. It'll actually pull up color palettes and stuff like that. Actually, let me turn this to the regular gray, and let me go back up here and switch this color. Where is that? Okay, we'll switch this. This is a little bit better. Okay. So we got that. Let's go ahead and let's give this unordered list a width of 50%. Let's just give an outline on it. We just kind of want to see what's going on. So let's see, red, solid, 1 pixel. There we go. Okay, so that's not quite enough. We'll do 75%. There we go. Okay, you can see this red outline right here. This is why I like doing this. I can see immediately that I didn't give this a height, which is going to cause some issues. So there we go. See? Much better. All right. Let's do float right. Okay, I'm just trying to get this to kind of resemble a normal navigation. Okay, so we can kind of hypothetically say that this is normal navigation. Let's throw in a fake logo just to kind of see, you know, a typical website setup. Okay, so let's go back. We have logo here. Okay, so this is automatically at 100%. So let's go in here and let's say H1 float. Let's see, float left. Okay, so when I float this left, it just means that it's going to behave with the other. Let's give this a color of white. And then let's give this a line height of 140 pixels. Probably needs less. Well, maybe. That's about it. Okay, let's give it a margin left of 40 pixels. Okay. So let's give it another font family too. All right, so this would mimic any typical kind of setup you'd have. So the big issue is, how do we make this responsive? So you can see right here that this isn't going to do us too well with the way it is. So first thing I see is with the width that I gave the unordered list, it's going to cause some issues on the desktop. So I'm in Chrome, so what I'm going to do is Command Option C. Then I'm going to see where we're at 1024. Okay, so that's about 1050, and then about right there is about 1024, because that's going to be our first media query. So if you're new to responsive development, a media query is when you have a select list of styles that only happen when certain criteria is met. So the first, let's swap the order of these. The first would be 1024. So so we're going to say once it hits max width of 1024 is going to be sort of between 768 and 1024, which would be like your tablet sizes. So like an iPad is 768 portrait view, 1024 landscape view. So at any rate, so we need this to kind of look good in 1024. So it's just a general rule. Like if you use Twitter Bootstrap, it's going to have different. That's what you would call a breakpoint. When the view, when the window size hits this quote breakpoint, it's going to execute all the styles that are in here. So we're going to get into that here in just a second. But let's go ahead and give this unordered list a little bit more space so it can accommodate 1024. So let's see. Okay, there we go. All right, so it's going to be good up until 1024. All right, so let's go back down to our media query here, max width. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say, right at 1024, we're going to say width is 100%, okay? All right, so 1024 width is 100%. And then we're going to say that the logo, the H1 tag, is going to also be width 100%, right? All right, so it's 100%. Now let's tell it to align center. So let's say text align center. There we go. Okay, so we're getting pretty close. So now these are both 140 pixels tall, so we need 280. We need this header area to now be 280 pixels high. So let's see, height, 280 pixels high. Okay, there we go. All right, so we kind of want to accommodate that space, right? And there are different ways you can do it, but just for the sake of this tutorial, we'll do it this way. All right, terrific. So we got that. Now, this is looking okay. Let's get that red outline off real quick. Gotcha. Okay. Now, see, 768 is going to be somewhere around here. So we already have some issues here with these. So what I'm thinking is the best approach for 1024, that breakpoint, let's go ahead and make the LIs, the list items, let's make those 100%. Okay, cool. We got that. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's say text align center. Oh, I need that. I actually need to do that on the anchor tag itself. So let's do that on the anchor tag. What is going on? Okay. Oh, this also needs to be width 100%. There we go. Okay, I'm sorry. So I have to change the width on both those. All right, so we got that. Let's go ahead and add a slight outline. Solid, light gray, 1 pixel. Give it some distinguishment. Okay, sweet. I see this isn't totally in line, so let's go ahead and go back to this logo thing, and we'll say we'll tell it not to have a margin anymore. Okay, we're getting the exact same thing on the anchor tags. Okay, so to get the anchor tags aligned, let's say padding 0. If you notice, a huge thing for front-end development is to be able to do live editing and inspecting. So this is why I always use Chrome. I use the web inspector tool. So, okay, sweet, looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and add just a hover to this. Let's say, okay, gotcha. All right, so now it has a hover effect. This is pretty good. See, the first thing I did was look for issues with the breakpoints. So if you notice, right between 1024 and 768, that's where I just realized that needed to be 100%. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and take a minute to... obviously, the navigation is not always going to be showing. So we need to go ahead and introduce a little bit of jQuery, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So first, we need to link the jQuery file. So what I'm going to do I recently had a document open, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this real quick. I never remember anything. I always copy and paste from previous documents. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so we're going to do a new document. We're going to call this custom.js. And so you're going to be getting into a little bit of JavaScript right now. And that's always fun. And so what we're going to do real quick, I'm going to open up I hate having to copy and paste all this. Write all this stuff from scratch. So always just copy it from something else. All right. So whenever you do a JavaScript file, you need to execute your JavaScript when the document is ready. So this is how you would do that. So you can always look this up. I copy and paste all the time, as I've said plenty of times before. So what we need to do is we need something that we can click right over here that can open and close the navigation. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So we're going to go ahead and come in here. We're going to say so we're doing an anchor tag. So we're going to give this an ID of iNav, okay? All right, and then we're going to go into here, and then we're going to go, let's see, right about here. We're going to say iNav, and then we're going to say, we have to go ahead and style this. So we're going to say float right. We want that on the right. We want this to be width of, let's see, 44 pixels, height of 44 pixels, background, aqua. Want this to be displayed block. Should be good. Really weird. Okay, why did it do that? Okay. So what we need to do is, if you see right here, it's pushing it down to the next one. It's just because there's just not enough space. So what we need to do is break into absolute positioning. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, yeah, okay, that's going to be fine. We're going to go in here to the iNav. We're going to say, we're going to take this float right out. We're going to say position absolute. We're going to say top 140, so that would be 70 pixels from the top, and then right, we'll say 20 pixels. Let's see what this gives us. Okay, kind of insane. We don't really need that. So instead of copying and editing and refreshing a bunch, I'm going to go in here into the inspector. I'm going to see what the exact number is. So this is really cool. So whatever you do here, you can just dial in. So 38, just say 38 pixels. 38 pixels. Sweet, refresh, looks good. So that's our iNav. And then so when we click this, we want this to hide show, right? Okay. So let's go into, we need to go into our code, and we need to go ahead and say when it is below 1024, let's say this unordered list needs to display none, right? Needs to display none. Okay. All right, so when we click this is going to show. So that's what we're looking for. So we need to go ahead and create a class. Let's go back to the top of our CSS document. Let's go. I try to keep my classes separated from everything else. We're going to do a class called show. So we're just going to create this out of thin air, and all it's going to say is display block. That's it. Then we're going to go back to our JavaScript file, and then we're going to say, let's see, yeah, I already actually have one of these. I was just going to grab. Okay. So we actually want to do toggle class, and I'll show you why. But so I always use iNav. I'm a creature of habit. I'm going to grab a quick sip of my coffee. Good stuff, good stuff. All right, so when we click this, let's just go ahead and comment this out. I always like to see if the JavaScript file is linking correctly. So what we'll do is we'll just say alert in single quotes, hello. And then let me go back here and just see if it's okay. So it's down there. Document ready. Okay, weird. Where did I save this? It's there. Okay, let me go down here. Source, custom JS. Okay, that's really weird. Let me go in here. Alert. Hello. There we go. Okay, so I refreshed. So I can tell that this is linking properly. Now let me go in here real quick. ID iNav. Okay, that is really weird that that's not working. Okay. So I'm going to open my inspector tool up real quick. And I am going to go to console down here in Chrome. Okay, it is not defined. That is really weird. Okay, for whatever reason, it's not liking my $sign. Oh, you know what it is? I don't have jQuery hooked up. Okay. That would be a problem. Whenever you use jQuery, you need to link to it. So Google has what's called a CDN. It basically allows you to link to their jQuery library. jQuery is not straight up JavaScript. It's a library of JavaScript, and you have to link to it in order for it to work. So I always link to Google. You can always Google Google's jQuery library, so it shall work now. Okay. All right, so you see we click on this, it works. We just want to make sure that it's firing before we start getting too ahead of ourselves. I'm a baby step kind of person. So I'm going to uncomment this out, and I'm going to this should toggle this class. So okay, it's not. Let's see what's going on. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so it works. Obviously, this could get more advanced, but works fine. Okay, the reason it's not working here is all that styling we have is in the 1024 range. Let's go in the 1024 range, and let's just tell that iNav not to show up. Let's say iNav display none. Okay, let's see. There we go. Let's say display none, and then actually, I'm sorry. You know what we need to do? We need a separate media query. Watch this. So we're going to go ahead and copy and paste this, and we're going to say min width 1024. We're going to say, so just to give some clarity on this, min width, we're just saying, I'm sorry, max width, we're saying everything below 1024 is going to get this styling. So that's going to be all your mobile, basically. Min width would be, it has to have a minimum width of 1024, which would be like all your desktop stuff. So we'll say iNav display none. Okay, sweet. And then if we shrink the browser window, it will reappear. No, did I not add that? Let's go back here. Oh, okay, block. There we go. That might help. Let's redo that. Okay, refresh. There we go. All right, so no matter what we do, it's going to work. So you got your responsive navigation here. And you know what we could do too, just for the heck of it, on that class when you do show, we're not going to get into doing the actual icon for close and open, but let's just say for show, let's say background red. Oh, I'm not doing. Let's see. And then we're going to go here. I'm sorry, we need to go back to our jQuery. If I'm going to go ahead and add a style to the actual button itself, we're going to say, so in JavaScript, if you say this, it just means this. It means your actual selectors. We're going to say add class. We'll just make one up. We'll say add class, let's see, open, I guess. What am I doing? Okay, don't need this. Then close it. Okay, there we go. All right, so now that we did that, we got our jQuery set up. We're going to do open. And this is going to have background red. Let's see if this works. Oh, what's going on? So let's open our inspector and let's see what it's doing. There we go. So it's adding a class of open. You can see it right here. You see that? Class open. So okay, it's just being overridden. So what we'll do, you could do this two different ways. You can add this class after iNav, so it doesn't take, so it overrides it. Should work. Okay, just for this, I use these sparingly, but you can put important after your value right there, and it'll change it. So, okay. See, here's an issue though. It adds it one time, and it just stays that way. So that's why this would also be a good candidate for toggle class. So let's say toggle class. There we go. See, it literally toggles it if you kind of have in your mind a toggle button. So pretty cool. This is pretty much it. This obviously can be as advanced as you want or as simple as you want. I always take baby steps. I never try to write out what I'm going to do. I just, just make sure all my files are hooked up, make sure I kind of get some of the basic styling. I don't try to complicate things too much. At any rate, if you like this video, please subscribe, comment. I'm pretty good at getting back to comments. Tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your siblings, the whole shebang. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed, and look forward to interacting with you in the comments. Thank you very much.